Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to our podcast conversation as we introduce a new series entitled Seasons, helping us navigate the different seasons in life and designed to help us find God in the midst of the seasons of life. Recapping where we've been so far this week, on Sunday, we just introduced the fact that just as the natural world has seasons, we all go through different times in our life. We all go through different seasons in our life. On Monday, we talked about how each of those seasons has a beginning and an end, and some of those beginnings or ends can either be facilitated by God or by life itself. Yesterday, we talked about how every season has a very particular personality or feel, and today, we embrace the reality that every season has something to accomplish in us. It actually is essential for our ongoing maturity in life. And the reason why that's important for us to understand is because it is essential for us to pay attention to how we think whenever we are in the different seasons in our life. I'm stealing this from St. Ignatius of Loyola, who in their spiritual exercises encourages the spiritual director to be on the lookout for what he calls spiritual desolation in the life of the retreatant. And there, when the retreatant finds him or herself struggling with dryness or the perceived absence of God, Ignatius wants to encourage both the director and the retreatant to know that the thoughts that come to us when we are in consolation are opposed to the thoughts that come to us when we are in desolation. And while most of the rules for discernment of spirits, which are contained in the spiritual exercises, are not necessarily applicable outside the retreat, I do believe that there's some wisdom that Ignatius gives us that we can perhaps apply to the different seasons in life. Yesterday, we said that every season has a very particular personality and feel, and we can react against those seasons or the way it feels because of our expectations in life. And it's important for us to pay attention to our thoughts. When you're going through a season, that's a tough season where you're being stretched, when life is hard, perhaps there's even suffering, it's important to pay attention to your thoughts, because those thoughts will be very different than the ones that you received or heard or felt when you were in a season that was more consoling or that was easier or that was filled with joy. So one thing that we should think, one thing that we should hold on to when we're ever in a season of difficulty is that there is something that God in life and all that we experience is trying to teach us about life regardless of the season you're in. And when you're going through a tough season, when it has something to teach you, it can give you just a little something to hold on to when everything inside of you wants to get out or punt from it. The joy-filled, the good seasons, you might say, the consoling seasons in life, they have something to teach us. When I look back on my own life at the seasons of grace and profound blessing, the seasons where things were easier, one of the things that I had to learn was not to grasp or not to eject from God during those seasons. It's funny that, when you're in a season of blessing or in a season of grace, we can become so fixed on the blessing that we can forget about the blesser, you might say. We can forget about the God who is giving us the gift there. I had to learn in the moments where life is good, where things are easy, to stay still and engage with God rather than grasp at the feelings, you might say, or the blessings. Likewise, when things have been tough, every season in my life where I felt overwhelmed or stretched, every season in my life where there's been darkness or suffering, it has taught me something. It has also taught me that in those times I need to stay still and keep my eyes on the Lord. It's taught me how to surrender. It's taught me how to live not for myself but for others. Every season in my life and every season in your life has something to teach us. And it's going to be helpful for us as we look at the other seasons. When I'm in a season of blessing, I can recall the seasons of suffering and the lessons I learned that will anchor me and prepare me for the next season where it might be difficult. Every season has something to teach us. And regardless of where you find yourself, if we can remember that God is trying to accomplish something in us during the season, then we can be more receptive to God and be still so that he can give us what he wants to give us. Again, for your homework today, look at the season in life that you're in now and maybe ask yourself, what is it that God's trying to teach you? And how might this season be preparing you for the ones that are to come? Again, if you received this particular podcast today via a forward from a friend, or if you stumbled upon it and you'd like to have these messages, these podcasts delivered to you daily, either by text message or email, go to my homepage, go to my blog, marktoops.com, and it'll kind of walk you through how to get these delivered to you. Come back tomorrow as we're going to further unpack what we talked about today by acknowledging that not only does the seasons of life they want to teach us something, but they want to accomplish something, actually help us progress through something. We're going to unpack that tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the day. Allow the Lord to be with you in the midst of whatever season you're in, and until we find ourselves together again tomorrow. God bless you.